People are searching for what you offer right now. They're Googling, trying to find your service. And if you're not showing up, who is? I'm going to guess it's probably your competition or some wellness influencer who is charging more, even though they don't have the credentials or the expertise. And I wanted to talk about SEO today because I know a lot of people are overwhelmed by it and a lot of people are ignoring it. But I love SEO because it's not about chasing clients, creating content that you hope someone sees as they're scrolling through their feed and then disappears a week later. It is about creating content that makes it easier for people to find you, and it has a longer shelf life. So I'm going to talk about some things that are changing in SEO, as well as some of the benefits of SEO outside of just you showing up in Google search. Like that's the given. One of the biggest benefits of SEO is that it makes your messaging a lot more clear, because one of the basics of SEO is being really specific. You want to use your keywords and have a really clear idea of who you're trying to reach. I often say that having a niche makes SEO easier, because if you're just trying to target nutrition coaching as a whole, or nutrition counseling or personal training or whatever it is as a whole, that is a big market to try and reach, especially if you are someone who works virtually with anyone, anywhere. A well-optimized site forces you to clarify what you do, who you help, and why you're different, and get really, really specific about who you work with and what specifically you do. A lot of times when I go to a health professional's website, it will say something vague at the top of the homepage about I help people feel healthier and live healthy lives or something. It's some mumbo jumbo like that. And that's not clear in so many ways. You could be a yoga instructor, you could be a dietitian, you could be a nurse practitioner. Like, you could be a lot of things. So that heading is not going to be good for SEO. And as an added benefit onto that, like part B of all this clarification, is that also is going to help you stand out in your niche. And even if it's just standing out as a dietitian amongst all the other dietitians, or a personal trainer amongst all the other personal trainers in your niche, in your area, if you're someone who works locally, because you're not just competing with all the other professionals, you're competing with influencers and questionable advice online. And so we're going to help you stand out online by having this really clear messaging and good SEO. As a healthcare professional, you need to take care of yourself, and that includes your own mental health as well. So if you're feeling burnt out by social media, yes, it's going to sound kind of ironic that I'm like, well, then instead focus on SEO, because it's still something on your plate. But you can create that content knowing that the content you're creating for SEO purposes is actually going to have a much longer shelf life. I actually had someone inquire with me about a month ago, and she said, I was Googling a question about Wix, and you showed up in the Google AI summary of my question. So I clicked on it, read your post, and obviously then she inquired. That post is 5 years old. 5 years old. And yes, it is accurate. It is up to date. The opinion is accurate, and all of that, because it's evergreen content. So it's not trendy or, anything like that. 5 years old. Can you imagine if someone saw an Instagram post of yours from 5 years ago? Like, one, were we using Instagram filters back then still? I don't think so, but that is unheard of, that someone would look at or even see an Instagram post of yours from 5 years ago. If you really want to work on SEO, you have to build up this library of content. If you're not answering how to deal with back pain, or how to handle XYZ with PCOS, or how to deal with this. If you're not going to answer those questions, someone else is. And you hearing that might be like, okay, well, that's fine. Someone else can answer it. But that's not positioning you as the expert. That's letting your competitor be the one that's positioned as the expert and the go-to person. So for some action items when it comes to SEO, first, I want to make sure that you have a website that is answering specific problems. So I just mentioned, thinking about the problems that people are dealing with, that they're Googling. I want you to use clear, focused language that clients are using, not industry jargon. If you need to, use ChatGPT or Claude and say, like, how can I say this in a down-to-earth way? How can I use layman's terms for this phrasing so it sounds more human? Like, help me almost dumb this down so it sounds more down to earth. Think about that. I want you to think about optimizing for local search, because there are people out there who they want to work with someone in their area, even if it is virtually. Like, for some people, it's weird for them to think about working with a dietitian who lives halfway across the country. They want to work with someone locally. And then, of course, making sure that your site is fast, that it does look good on mobile, and that it's up to date, because all of these things factor into your SEO. It's not just how many keywords you have on your site. Google has over 200 factors. There's a lot that goes into SEO. I hope this episode was helpful. I want you to remember that even though SEO might not always be a quick win, it is a long-term win with repeated gains. I can point to specific blog posts that have brought in clients over and over and over. And I want that for you as well, because I don't know about you, but like, I love having a blog post that I wrote like 5-6 years ago that still brings in clients, and ideal clients at that. If you don't invest in SEO, you're leaving money on the table. So I really want you to think about how you can shift things in your schedule from week to week to allocate some more time for SEO, maybe a little bit less on social media. But if you have SEO questions, let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see y'all in the next video.